Imagine standing in a quiet, fog-shrouded medieval town in the 13th century France, where the air hums with the rhythmic clang of hammers on stone and the distant calls of workers hauling massive blocks skyward. It's 1211, and the old cathedral in Reims has just been gutted by fire, a tragic accident that, in the eyes of some, conveniently clears the way for something far grander. But pause for a moment and ask yourself, who really built these towering Gothic masterpieces like Reims Cathedral? Could a scattered, plague-riddled population of the so-called Dark Ages truly quarry, transport, and assemble millions of tons of precisely cut limestone into structures of breathtaking mathematical harmony, all without modern cranes, engines, or even detailed written records? Or are we gazing at the inherited relics of a forgotten, hyper-advanced civilization, one that vanished in a global cataclysm, leaving behind these found wonders for later generations to claim as their own? This isn't just architectural admiration, it's a profound challenge to everything we've been taught about history. Dive deeper into the numbers, and the paradox becomes impossible to ignore. Today, with vaccines, sanitation, and abundant food, the world's population grows at a steady clip, enough to double every few decades if unchecked. Run that same exponential growth backward from our 8 billion people today, applying even a modest modern rate over the 800 years to the 1200s, and the math delivers a shocking verdict. Europe would have had mere thousands of souls, the entire planet perhaps just a few tens of thousands. How then could a handful of people orchestrate feats requiring thousands of skilled labourers over generations? Quarrying stone from distant sites, carting it across rugged terrain with oxen and wooden wheels, hoisting it hundreds of feet high, all while surviving famines, wars and outbreaks that kept populations stagnant for centuries? The official story crumbles under its own weight. These weren't built by medieval peasants in a primitive era. They were appropriated from a pre-reset world of superior technology and unified knowledge. Look closer at Reims itself, and the clues multiply like shadows in candlelight. Construction supposedly began in 1211 under architects with mysteriously vague biographies. Men like Jean d'Orbay, whose lives read more like legends than documented histories, with no surviving blueprints or personal artifacts to prove their existence. The building rises with eerie precision, perfectly aligned vaults, intricate geometries that align with sacred proportions, and a unified style that defies the idea of decades of trial and error by rotating teams. And the recurring tale, a wooden church burns, making way for stone grandeur. A pattern echoed across Europe, as if it's a scripted cover story to explain why these colossal structures suddenly appear in records after centuries of supposed backwardness. Old photographs from the 19th century reveal buried lower levels in many such buildings, hinting at mud floods or cataclysms that submerged an older world, only for survivors to dig out and repurpose what remained. What if these cathedrals aren't triumphs of the Middle Ages, but survivors of a golden age lost to time? A sophisticated society with energy technologies, global trade and engineering we can barely comprehend today. Symbols like griffins and shared motifs appear worldwide, from Europe to Asia, suggesting one interconnected civilization before a great reset wiped the slate clean. History books insist on a linear climb from caves to cathedrals, but the evidence whispers otherwise. We've been handed a fabricated timeline, one that hides our true heritage to keep us disconnected from our potential. Next time you gaze up at those soaring spires piercing the sky, feel the thrill of forbidden knowledge. These aren't just churches, they're echoes of a world far greater than ours, calling us to question everything and awaken to the hidden truth beneath the stone. What other impossibilities from our past are waiting to be rediscovered? The real history isn't written in textbooks, it's etched in the very buildings we walk past every day.